Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Israel, at the Gaza Strip, you actually have 44 people killed, including 15 children, 350 Palestinians wounded over a 3-day bombardment from Israel before a ceasefire began on Sunday. So here's the thing. Palestinians accused Israelis of doing this to build political support ahead of the November elections. However, Israel tried to justify the attack, saying that there were members of the Islamic Jihad there, who they consider like terrorists or whatever. And 2 senior members of Islamic Jihad were killed, as a matter of fact. But nevertheless, that's a lot of bombing and a lot of murder, and a lot of children having to witness that. So, and obviously children being killed as well. So that's what's going on. During the bombardment, they also cut off fuel lines to Gaza, which caused a blackout throughout the region. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So after much negotiation, you actually have a $739 billion bill passing through Senate that is aimed at addressing climate change, reducing drug costs, and establishing a 15% minimum tax on corporations. Now, this was passed with every Senate Republican voting no, and therefore Vice President Kamala Harris having to have the tie-breaking vote of yes over the Senate. So the bill is now passing. It's aimed at reducing carbon emissions for the United States by 40% by the end of the decade. It also, people have mixed feelings about it. You have, some environmentalists and people that are trying to fight for stopping climate change, saying that, it's not the bill we want, but it's the bill we could get. You have the Center for Biological Diversity calling it a climate suicide pact. See, it does come with, that promise to lower carbon emissions by 40%. However, it does allow for more drilling to take place on public land and water, and even provides tax credits to oil and to fossil burning and coal burning plants, fossil coal and gas burning plants, pardon me. And this actually, it also makes it easier for like possible new pipeline projects to take place, including the controversial Mountain Valley Pipeline in West Virginia. So you have that going on. There were a lot of negotiations going on amongst the Senate prior to this bill being passed today. One of them being the actual, and this was at the insistence of Sinema, who's actually a Democrat. She actually, they actually removed the proposal for a tax on private equity and hedge funds. You also had there being a provision that allowed Medicare to negotiate costs for these drugs, which actually lower the price of drugs for millions of Americans. However, senators had actually rejected, especially Senate Republicans rejected, a $35 cap that they were trying to place on the price of insulin. So a lot of mixed feelings about this bill, but is it progress? I mean, ultimately time will tell. Green War and Graduation. Streets Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Now, I've reported on this previously, letting you know the votes were in Colombia, but it's been official on Sunday. You have Pedro Gustavo actually sworn in as the country's first leftist president, and his vice president being Francia Marquez Mina, who actually follows my personal IG, by the way, not to brag, you know what I'm saying? But this is somebody who's making history as well as being the first black vice president of that country. Now, you have Gustavo, who's actually the former M19 guerrilla member. He also was a senator and the mayor of Bogota, which is the country's capital. And then Marquez Mina is actually was actually known as an environmentalist, an activist, land and water defender, somebody who's very much for the peoples. And I definitely see that in my news feeds as well. Like, he's really out there with the people, talk that talk. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. You had Pedro talking, making in his ceremony and acceptance speech, him talking about how, we need a new international, he condemned the U.S.-led war on drugs, where he was saying we need a new international convention that accepts that the war on drugs has completely failed, leaving millions of Latin Americans dead, many of them Colombians, and that over the past 40 years, and currently leaves like 70,000 North Americans dead every year of an overdose from drugs that are not made in Latin America. You know what I'm saying? The drug war has strengthened mafias and weakened states. So, they seem very adamant. A lot of people are excited about it because they feel like for the first time, they're going to see democracy, that this is like where the people are actually happy with the election. So, if you look at the history of, Colombia, and, you have the FARC battling with, the government of Ivan Duque and all of that, it's actually like going to be a change. You know what I mean? I even believe that from afar, but, of course time will tell, but, it's looking like it's going in a good direction. I mean, Afro-Latina in the vice presidency, you know what I'm saying? Petro, very much a leftist, very much somebody, not that I'm leftist or rightist or whatever, but very much somebody that's at least going to listen to the people, you know what I'm saying? It's the first time people feel like it's not going to be an elitist government. So, you know what I mean? Shouts out to them. Green Wall graduation. This report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So China has actually extended its largest ever military drills going on in the Taiwan Strait. So you got tensions running high there. All of this being after the U.S. House of Representatives Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, actually visited Taiwan against the wishes of China during her Asia tour. Now, on Sunday, China actually ended their live fire exercises, but they went into these drills, military drills that simulated like anti-submarine attacks and sea raids and air raids and all of that. So, they prepping for war, you know what I'm saying? And probably, if you're thinking as a war strategist, it's probably the smart thing to do, because America's actions seem provocative. You know what I'm saying? China also suspended all talks with the United States on a number of issues, including the climate crisis, you know what I'm saying? Military situation, and and they did so after what they called an egregious provocation by Pelosi. So we'll see how this all turns out. Green Wall graduation. This report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Association, actually warning of a potential nuclear disaster in Ukraine and Zaporizhia. However you spell it, however you pronounce it, it's spelled Zaporizhia. And this is home to Europe's largest nuclear power plant. It has 6 nuclear reactors and tons of radioactive material. Now, there have been attacks at this site twice since Friday, and this is a site that's actually occupied by Russia. They basically took over the area, and Russia is saying that shelling, and they're basically blaming each other, Russia and Ukraine, for the fighting that's going on over there in that area in particular. You have Russia saying that shelling done by the Ukrainians is like potentially to have catastrophic consequences, and then you have Ukraine blaming Russia, saying that they were firing missiles so that they could cut the nuclear reactor off from the power grid that is connected to the rest of Ukraine. So, but obviously residents are just like, yo, stop this shit, like put an end to it. It's not just going to affect that neighborhood or those countries and the neighboring countries like Belarus and all of that, but it's also going to affect the world. So we'll see. It's all out war over there, and ain't too much fair in when it comes to war. You dig? Green War on graduation though. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So, Indiana has become the first state to actually adopt new abortion laws since the overturning of Roe v. Wade by the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? Now, so you have Indiana's governor, Republican governor, actually signing a bill on Friday that pretty much eliminates. Not pretty much. It bans abortion, except in the instance of like incest or medical emergency or rape. So, if somebody is found giving an abortion, providing an abortion, they can face a fine of up to $10,000 and up to 6 years in prison. So, obviously, this has made some people irate. This was passed after the majority Republican Senate, state Senate, actually approved the bill, but you're getting a lot of fire from Indiana's Chamber of Commerce, and you have a spokesperson for Eli Lilly said that they're obviously they disapprove of it, but they're this is a pro-abortion company, but they're actually going to expand their pharmaceutical operations outside of Indiana. So we will see. Man, this is only the start of it. Hence why I guess you have like Democrats and even Biden putting an executive order out, allowing or providing support for people who are going to have to travel for abortion, because those are the times we in. How y'all feel about that though? Green War and graduation. For the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in New Mexico, you have South Asian Muslim actually being killed in what is said to be possibly linked to the murder of 3 other Muslim men that have been killed in the past 9 months. You had the body of Naeem Hussein actually being found late Friday, who actually, and this happened just a few hours after he attended a funeral at the Islamic Center of New Mexico, when there were funerals for 2 other men, Muhammad Afzal Hussein and then Aftab Hussein, who were actually killed just a few days prior. And you have Harold Medina, the chief police officer, the Albuquerque chief police officer, actually saying that he believes that the murders were actually related. They have reason to believe that they're related. Now, they didn't name any suspects. However, they did release images of a Volkswagen, saying that is a vehicle of interest. So, you know what I'm saying? If you ride through Albuquerque with a Volkswagen, stay woke, you dig? And if you're Muslim or South Asian in New Mexico, you need to stay woke as well. Green War and graduation. Although the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So on Friday, a jury in Austin, Texas actually said that Alex Jones has to pay $45 million to the family of the Sandy Hook victim. Sandy Hook being that 2012 massacre that took place in at the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, that left over 20 children dead, along with 6 educators. Now, Alex Jones is known, with him through his news outlet InfoWars, through his channel InfoWars, has basically had spent years suggesting that it was a government hoax and that the families were paid crisis actors, and these families feel like that caused them damage and harm and caused harassment towards them, which it did. You know how people get, especially these right-wing motherfuckers that tend to follow Alex Jones. I mean, I follow Alex Jones, so I felt like he went off the deep end with Trump. I mean, let me say, I listened to him, you know what I mean? But, now he has to pay $45 million to these families on top of the and that's in compensatory damages. This is on top of the $4.1 million that he has to pay in punitive damages. So, you know what I mean? I warned him, especially in BFN World Broadcast number 8, if you check that out. I told him, you know what I mean? Karma biting his ass for supporting Trump, man. Green War and graduation though. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So you got California's Death Valley that actually received on Friday a year's worth of rainfall in just a matter of 3 hours, causing flash floods and all of that monsoon type shit that actually left almost 1,000 people stranded temporarily. So you have the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Crisis for the United Nations saying that monsoon type weather like this is becoming more prevalent now in the era of this climate change era that we in or whatever. So you actually have at the same time over in Iran, you had there being a crazy heat where they saw their hottest temperature ever recorded this past Friday, where in Avaz they reached the temperature of 53 degrees Fahrenheit. That is nearly 130 degrees. 53 degrees Celsius, and that's nearly 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And the heat index was at 142 degrees Fahrenheit. So, you know what I'm saying? It's them times, y'all. Green War and graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So you had United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres actually traveling to Hiroshima, Japan for a ceremony marking 77 years since the United States actually dropped the world's first atomic bomb on Hiroshima or whatever. And obviously it killed a bunch of people, and it has affected millions ever since then. You know what I mean? This is affecting generations of people being born with defects and wrong shit with them. It's affecting the waters and the wildlife and all of that, whatever, for generations afterwards. So Guterres actually was saying that he's fearful that we are in the midst of another nuclear crisis, and he was saying that, you know, the only way to ensure that we don't have a nuclear crisis is to essentially get rid of all nuclear weapons. But y'all know it ain't gonna happen. Shit, why would it? Especially when the United States is the first perpetuator of such an act of using nuclear weapons, and they still in power and still got nuclear weapons. Are they gonna give up their guns? No, especially if they gotta be wary of that karma. Motherfuckers in the streets know what's up, man, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's asinine to think that that's not gonna happen. Shoot, probably the best solution is to give everybody nuclear weapons. I don't know, maybe not, but nevertheless, it just ain't gonna happen. So the motherfuckers just talking. Green War on graduation though.